Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. If you are tuning in when this show does go live on Saturday, happy to have you here. You know, the weekend edition of the show is where we answer your questions, our community's questions. Every Saturday, every Sunday, we get through a dozen. And again, really excited to always see what comes in each and every weekend. They're always different, but of course, we know that in general, we're looking at wellness, weight loss, anti-aging questions, sometimes mindset, sometimes IHP health coaching, and really happy to tackle all of these as they come in. So no magic behind any of these questions and answers. They come from real people all around the world, simply from my website, stephencabral.com. /Ask Cabral. And all the questions are answered in the order they come in. Now, I do have to say, because we do have to filter through the questions when they are put in my spreadsheet for me, is that if you have a customer service question, this will literally never be seen. So we apologize, but Ask Cabral is not to know when your product will be delivered. I'm not able to help with that. I would, it'd be nice, but I would not be able to do any other work. We have 50 people all around the world on our Equal Life IHP Stephen Cabral team. Amazing people that are dedicated to our community to serve. But if you want to know about products and all those great things, you can email support@eco.life. You can always email support@eco.life for pretty much anything. They'll direct you to where you need to go. IHP is support@integrativehealthpractitioner.org, and the Stephen Cabral website. If you ever need to get a hold of us for health results accelerators or my book or media, that's support@stephencabral.com. And if you have a question for me, you can always ask it right here. So first question today is actually from 4/25, April 25th. And if I'm going in the Wayback Machine and I'm looking at today's date as June 19th, then I can see this is almost 8 weeks. So it's 7 weeks right now. And we're typically between 6 and sometimes 10 weeks. So just know that depending on the amount of people that write in, there could just be a little bit of a wait. That's all to get your question answered live on the show. All right. Last but not least, we are not providing any diagnosis of disease, any medical treatment protocols or advice, or what's the other term I'd say? No curing, no diagnosing, and no treatment protocols. I believe that's all of them I have to say. And so that is it. So let's answer your questions live right here on the show. First question is from Suzanne. Suzanne wrote in, "Hi, Dr. Brawl. I'm very interested in a very good collagen supplement, but I've read that it's not good for someone who has had breast cancer in the past. So this makes me apprehensive. Can you please provide your thoughts on this? Thank you, Suzanne." Suzanne, happy to help. Happy to see that you're doing well now. I'm assuming that you have overcome breast cancer, or maybe this is for someone else in your family, of course. So the issue isn't necessarily just with collagen, but I want to share with you what the science says. So the science on collagen says that since collagen typically forms around tumors, it could be any tumor anywhere in the body, but breast tissue being one of those specifically, that medical science is be careful with collagen because collagen has been known to increase around tumors. Well, that's because literally it holds that tumor there. But also, you have to understand the thinking. From conventional medicine, they have a very different mindset, which is a little bit disturbing. And the best analogy that I've ever heard is that they often blame skid marks. The analogy would be they blame skid marks on traffic accidents. And the reason is that when you show up at a traffic accident, you oftentimes see skid marks. And so therefore, skid marks must cause traffic accidents. Well, we know that that's not true. It is the car screeching to a halt to try to prevent the accident that caused the skid mark. And then, of course, lo and behold, you have an accident. Well, it's not dissimilar necessarily with tumors. When tumors start to grow, they can increase the collagen, which is the support structure of tissues around it to hold a tumor in place. So do we know that collagen increases tumors? We don't. Not at all. Not the research that I've seen. However, I will say this. Anyone that's had cancer, cancers, you have to be careful of a lot of protein in general and collagen being a protein because it creates more of an anabolic state. So I can't tell you what to do. I'm just going strictly by the science and also the misnomers that sometimes conventional medicine looks at. So again, I can't tell you yes or no. Of course, if you want to be on the safest side possible, then you will go lower protein, lower collagen in general, but really because you're trying to decrease IGF-1 levels in the body. So I hope that's helpful, Suzanne. Maria's up next. Hi, doctor. The book I'm currently reading says it is best to avoid microwaving starchy foods as the high heat turns starchy foods into advanced glycation end products, which can build up in the body and damage organs. I don't often use the microwave, but I know many people that do. So I was wondering if you've heard of this. Thanks. Yes, absolutely. So I have not used a microwave since basically college. And that was undergrad, and that was a long time ago. And the reason I haven't is because there are detrimental effects to cooking food in a microwave. A lot of people will tell you there isn't, because you can look at the micronutrient profile of food, and it actually, by cooking things, it can increase the absorption of some and decrease the absorption of others. But it really goes back to Ayurvedic methodology and Ayurvedic thinking. The faster you cook a food, the higher the heat, the more movement of, I was actually explaining this to my daughter the other day. My daughters, for better or for worse, they get all of this education at 6 years old and 8 years old. And they said, how come we don't use the microwave? And I said, the microwave just comes with the apartment, and it is used as a clock. And sometimes we use it as a food storage cabinet. It's an extra cabinet for us that we put food in, and it's a nice little storage unit. That's about it. And the reason is that when you cook food in a microwave, just like all food, but it's different in a microwave, you're using microwave-based energy. Clinically proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can use an actual radiation-based meter, which I have, and you can test the microwave. There are extremely high levels of radiation, which means you're radiating your food. That is scientifically proven. There's no way around that. So your food is being radiated. Is that good? Is it bad? Well, it certainly can't be good. Okay, how detrimental? I don't think that we necessarily fully know. But the other thing is this, so the person who told you this is correct. You speed up. So what they didn't understand was that, how do you make a food hot if it's not hot inside the microwave? If you're not using convection, convection is different than regular microwave. So what you're doing is, I told her, I said, listen, me and you, we're actually made up of molecules that are moving around at a normal pace to look like a human. And this wallet is made up of molecules to look like a wallet. And this phone is made up of molecules to look like this phone. Well, we can speed up those molecules inside of us so they bump against each other even faster. And by bumping back and forth against each other, well, they're heating up the food. They're causing more friction. They're causing more heat within that. So that's how a microwave works. And it definitely increases those advanced glycation end products, which are called H's, and increase acrylamides as well. And now Ayurveda didn't know about microwaves, but they certainly knew about low and slow cooking. They cooked food slowly. They cooked it on low temperature. They decreased acrylamides and advanced glycation end products. They were pretty smart back then, and they have a lot to teach us. All right, so Maria, hopefully that's helpful. Spread the word. Paula's up next. Hi, what are your thoughts on Fitbits or Apple Watches due to EMFs? I wear and track my steps and sleep. Okay. I wear an Oura Ring, and I wear a smartwatch, an Apple Watch that I just started wearing 4 weeks ago because I'm tracking the efficacy of the Oura Ring versus the Apple Watch that will be coming out in a couple weeks, a head-to-head. Which one is better? And which one is better in each category? I'm going to go through about 10 different categories, and then what would be my overall pick? Because I'm not going to wear both of these forever. I'm going to wear one. So how do I get around the EMFs? Well, again, you can't really see this. But if you could, you see a little airplane at the top. Okay. So I put my tech gadgets on. I'm just going to show you if I can pull down the screen. Here we go. All right. So I put all of my tech gadgets on no Bluetooth and airplane mode. Okay. So this is the screen. If you're watching this on video, you can see it. That is the screen that you can't really see it, but it shows my Bluetooth is off. Okay. So there's no Bluetooth, and it says off when you go to the settings on my iPhone. And then on this Apple Watch, all you do is press scroll up, get to my home screen, And then you scroll up and you'll see that there's an airplane, a little orange thing right here that you can put on airplane mode. And you can do it for the Oura Ring as well. And the Oura Ring turns off airplane mode when you pop it back on its charger. So in the morning, I pop it on the charger to download my sleep. And then at night, I put it back on the charger. Actually, I don't, because I don't need it at night unless I want to see it. So then I keep it on airplane mode, and it will store data for more than 2 days before you reconnect it. So that's what you can do. So I love biometrics. I really do. I love, the biohacking, but I want to do it smartly and avoid the Bluetooth and EMFs. Okay. All right, Troy is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. You recently joined us on our podcast show, and we are grateful for every minute spent with you. Your work is life-changing. Thank you for everything you do. Question. My wife has trouble breathing over the last few years and was diagnosed with idiopathic subglottic tracheal stenosis. We are looking for naturopathic ways to treat the issue and prevent breathing problems from reoccurring. My wife has had surgery to go in a laser out the damaged scar tissue blocking the trachea, and it's recommended for another surgery that will include chemo. With being a family that strongly believes in naturopathic healing, we are in need of your help for other options. Thank you for your consideration and helping us to build a better plan. Troy. Okay, Troy, happy to help. And it looks like my team edited out your podcast show because they wanted it to be more anonymous, because they don't know if you thought that this would come to me privately or if it would be read on air. So since it's being read on air, we want people to have their privacy. Okay, well, let's break this down. So one, naturopaths do not treat disease. They don't cure, they don't provide cures, and they don't provide diagnosis, right? That's medical doctors only. Okay, so now that we've given the disclaimer, idiopathic subglottic tracheal stenosis. These are all, again, I oftentimes make fun of medicine because what they do is they create really powerful, smart sounding words to make you think that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And again, it's no disrespect to the brilliance of medical doctors, but they're doing what they're told by conventional medicine training. Idiopathic means they don't know what it is, right? Idiopathic means we don't know, right? I had idiopathic immune issues when I was younger. Idiopathic means we don't know what it is. Subglottic is simply the area, subglottis above the vocal cords. Tracheal, trachea, so your windpipe, breathing. And stenosis means hardening essentially, right? Stiffening. So what are they saying? We essentially don't know why you're getting stiffening around your trachea. That's all that means, but they say idiopathic subglottic tracheal stenosis, right? So it sounds really smart, but they're saying we have no idea why this scar tissue is building up. Okay, so why could it build up? Well, it could have built up from an actual injury to that area, okay? And if there's an injury to that area, then you could have a one-time surgery to remove the scar tissue potentially, if more scar tissue doesn't build up from the surgery, to then allow for easier breathing. That's, again, if it was an injury. If it was an inflammatory issue based in this particular area, we say, well, why is there inflammation causing then this particular type of scarring or scar tissue? Was there a congenital birth-based, I don't like to use the word the defect, but for lack of a better word, was there just an abnormality in the growth of how the trachea and the vocal cords actually grew? It's always possible. So the best I can tell you is to look for the underlying root cause. And so again, my job is to say, you want to use conventional medicine, but you don't want to glorify it, right? Because it's not godly. It's developed by man, right? It's like they're fallible as well. So you want to look at what medical doctors say, and then you want to look at what natural health says. So the way that we would help in this way is we would just look at, well, what's the inflammation coming from? And we don't really know. So we could run an omega-3 test. We could run a hair tissue mineral analysis. We could run a heavy metal toxicity test. Again, like these are all things that we can do. We can start to do 21-day functional medicine detox. But I don't have the answer for you because just like conventional medicine, I run a separate set of functional medicine lab tests that tell me much deeper what's going on inside the body. So Troy, that's your starting place. Hopefully that gets you started. Kenzie's up next. I have heartburn pretty often. I tried the HCL betaine with pepsin as I suspected I had low stomach acid. I took one capsule and experienced a lot of discomfort in my chest and nausea. Does this mean I don't have low stomach acid? What should be my next steps to figuring out why I get heartburn? All right, so no, if you take betaine HCL with pepsin and you get nauseous and discomfort in your chest, it typically means you have too much stomach acid. All right, or you're having a reaction at least. So no, it doesn't mean take more betaine HCL. You did the test, then it's not the right product for you. So Kenzie, if I can give you my highest recommendation, it's this. There's two things you could do. One, and what I recommend is the knowledge always first. Go to stevencabral.com/accelerators and take the one on gut and digestion rebuilding. It will teach you all the different reasons, most likely, of why you have heartburn. It literally goes through the top 10 reasons. And I haven't seen any outside of that. I really haven't. So I go through all of that, even from a conventional medicine basis, like a hiatal hernia. All right, so I go through that. Now, if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to do a lab test, you could run the bacteria and parasite stool test at equi.life. That's EQUI.life. All right, that would let you know if you have H. pylori, which is really important because you might have a bacterial overgrowth there called Helicobacter pylori. All right, I teach that inside of the gut health results accelerator as well. And so that's what I would do, because you need to figure out why you have the heartburn, right? So you need to figure it out. So I give you how to figure it out in the health results accelerator. And then of course, you're also welcome to run that lab as well at equi.life, all right, which is the bacteria and parasite stool test. All right, one more question for today. John is up. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I did the food sensitivity test provided by equi.life and scored high for all foods in the dairy group besides sheep's yogurt and beta-lactoglobulin, which were low. I didn't notice bloating with whey, but I scored high on that as well. Considering this, do you think I can use ghee? Would I have to wait until I have a food sensitivity test where the levels aren't high for all dairy foods? Thank you for your time. All right. It's a great question. Really important. An IgG food sensitivity test, like the one you took through Equilife that we recommend for the whole family, it has nothing to do with bloating. It has nothing to do with gas, constipation, diarrhea, loose stool, anything digestion-wise. We're looking for an inflammatory IgG reaction, which is a reaction that happens more than 24 hours typically after you eat a food. So it's not going to be the bloating. It's going to be more things, issues like joint pain, tight muscles, brain fog, acne, skin rashes, hair falling out, low mood. It's all of those other issues, okay? It's not digestive. Digestive means you have a digestive issue, like you can't digest the lactose, right, inside of those dairy foods. All right, so can you use ghee? That's the interesting thing. Ghee is very low in casein, and it's very low in whey, and it's predominantly just made of fat, which means you're not reacting as much to butter or ghee because there's no real protein to react to. Now, however, you can still react to it. So what I recommend is a 6-week elimination, at least 4, before you may try some ghee. And if possible, you would get a goat or sheep-based ghee, which would be even less reactive. All right. So hopefully that's helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into today's show. Of course, if it was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anybody else you believe it could serve. And don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow answering 6 more of our community questions. Take care.